Monday motivation, feeling good, looking good, ought to be in Hollywood. I believe that was what Mark Devine said on one of his Unstoppable podcasts. Today is about how do you become unstoppable, unbreakable, anti-fragile? How do you become resilient? And how do you express that physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? I've said before in other videos that it comes through going through a hard time, going through the difficult stuff. This is on a lot of podcasts now, and it's trending quite a lot because people are kind of fascinated as to, well, what does that mean? I've got to go through hard stuff to become more resilient or stronger. Think about it as if you are lifting a weight. You lift the weight, and that resistance to your muscle, it's the resistance and you overcoming that lifting of the weight then causes your muscle to grow back stronger. This is exactly the same thing with every area of your life. When you're testing yourself physically, mentally, or spiritually, then you are basically putting that weight, that resistance, and your body, your mind, your spirit comes back stronger from it. So every single time you come across an obstacle or a challenge, you really want to be thinking to yourself, and I know it's cheesy that people go, oh, don't say why me, say try me, but just adjust the mindset of thinking, okay, this is a challenge, this is an obstacle. What can I learn from it? How am I going to use this as a vehicle for growth and becoming better from it? How am I going to use this to transform me and become stronger? From a physical point of view, it's really easy to put that into a context of, well, you can go to the gym, you can go for a run, you can lift weights, you can do yoga, you can do physical stuff with your body, and it will become stronger as long as you're doing that periodization and you're allowing yourself to gradually overload over time with sufficient recovery. The interesting thing is when you push your body, you're also pushing your mind. So you're naturally going to get an area of, or crossover, should I say, of you're going to become more mentally resilient. And your resilience is going to build because, do you know what? If you've got one more set to do with, let's say, squats, and you don't want to do it and you do it, you're building that grit. And so for me, when I talk about mind, body, and spirit, the mind bit, I'm really looking at how do I build grit, resilience? How do I build that mental fortitude? That along the way, I need to take a balanced approach of almost being a peaceful warrior. And how can I have that compassion and everything else that falls in? I don't just want to be a robot mentally. I need to develop the mind four-dimensionally. Then when it comes physically, I want to be looking at, well, how do I be robust and functional and agile and mobile? Like, can I move my joints? Have I got strength, power, speed? Is that there? But also, do I have endurance? So again, four-dimensional look at it. Then when it comes to the spiritual side of things, it's the higher purpose. It's what's my relationship and connection to God, the creator, the universe. Different words will resonate with different people. But again, is it very much just a process that's in my head of like, I'm believing about it? Or is it a process of knowing because I feel it in my heart, I feel it in my body, in my soul? So when you're trying to develop yourself and you think, yeah, I just want to be more resilient, or I want to be unbreakable, unstoppable, anti-fragile, you have to look at yourself complete, holistically. You have to look at all of the component parts, because if you work on just one rather than the other, you'll end up having a gap. So you can be really physically strong, but be not as strong mentally or not as strong spiritually. So when you really get tested in any one of those areas, you will end up like feeling the strain more than you should. Same as if your faith is being tested, and if you're being tested in the spiritual aspect, well, how strong are you mentally and physically? So there's a lot that you can go into on how different exercises and different ways of moving your body will have a crossover into the benefit to you mentally as well. And then you can get a deeper connection spiritually. So for me, I like to do, as I've shown in one of the other videos, I like to do rope flow. I like to use body weight stuff. I'll do kettlebells. I also love to use barefoot shoes or being barefoot. What that does for me is it allows me to be a better connection with the ground, more functional with my movements. There's nothing really that's between me. There's not a lot of cushioning between me and the ground. So I find that just brings me more in tune with the movement when I'm doing it. And that kind of in the moment, present movement as I'm moving with it, as I'm flowing with it, whether it's a rope flow or whether it's like doing pull-ups, push-ups, squats, kettlebell work, I just feel I'm more connected with what I'm doing. That connection, I then feel a greater connection to the world around me. So when it gets really tough and I'm really like, this workout is really pushing me, I look inwards to where is that inner strength. And then I pull upon that inner strength to help get me through those difficult workouts. So that is what I would say if I was trying to give advice to someone to say, what is it that I can teach and sort of things that I've learned over the years with sport and doing corrective exercise with people and coaching people is develop yourself in these three areas. Develop yourself mentally, physically, spiritually. Look at that grit and resilience on the mental side. But four-dimensional, work on compassion. Look at how can you develop your full mental capacities and how you look at things. And then develop things within the physical side of be strong, fast, powerful, have endurance, have stamina. Make sure that you're robust, but be flexible. And when you're flexible, make sure you've got that strength in the end ranges of motion as well. And then on a spiritual side of things, don't get caught in just an echo chamber of what your one belief is. Listen and learn from people of other beliefs. Because again, it's testing your belief and testing what you know, what you think and feel about what your belief system is and what your faith is. And the more you do this, the more you build a well-rounded practice. And also you'll enhance your belief. Or perhaps if it wasn't that strong and you're on the edge, you'll change or you'll find your way and you'll naturally just develop yourself better, more rounded as a human being. So that'd be my advice. That'd be my takeaway would be mind, body, spirit. Work on all those three. Make a little bit of practice every single day for each of them. A quick trick, something for you to try now or whenever you want, is when you have a couple of minutes, it could be waiting for your dinner to cook or for the kettle to boil. Whatever you're doing, you find yourself with just a couple of minutes of time. Do some squats, do some body weight moves, and focus on the quality of that movement. Focus on how does that feel. Can you feel your feet pushing into the ground? Can you feel your belly button pulled in? Can you sense your breath? Like really turn your attention inwards to how your body feels. Connect with it. Do you feel your leg muscles and your glute muscles contracting as you're doing these movements? And the same with press ups. As you're coming down towards the floor and pushing back up, do you feel the muscles working? Can you sense the breath? Do you feel that your core is tight and strong? And the more you develop this kind of inner practice, it becomes very meditative as you're doing your press ups, your squats or pull ups or dips, whatever it might be. You can really start to get a flow and a sense of the movement, and that will develop. And if you do these movement breaks throughout the day, you're going to continually just bringing in activity into your day-to-day, and you're just going to constantly be sort of, as the term is, greasing the groove. You're just going to be constantly adding in these movement breaks. It means you're going to be far more active than if you just tried to chuck a chunk of exercise in at one point in the day. And then you're going to have a much healthier, active lifestyle than, say, a 30-minute chunk of exercise and then an entire day seated, let's say if you're office-based, and then nothing. So you keep doing, still if you want to do your exercise, but then bring these little movement breaks in throughout the day. You'll also find that your body just starts to move more freely. You'll develop a more rounded, better physique, body. You'll be more resilient. You'll just have a whole host of benefits that come from it. So that's enough for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate the followers and those that have subscribed. So please like, subscribe, share the channel, share the video, send it to whoever needs some advice, support, motivation, whether they're looking to build mental resilience, build up the physical side in the body, or they're looking to develop spiritually, then please send that on and we can create a movement together and a fantastic community to make the world a better place. Thank you.